sure YouTube doesn't have a mini scale.
Let me make sure everything's set
Perfect.
up right here.
Okay.
We're gonna clearly go with no wind.
No, 100% wind.
I'm gonna play out there in the storm. So we're gonna go full course, obviously.
New course. Design at golf course. That, I bet, is interesting.
Alright, how do I invite you here? Let's invite you here. I sent you an invite.
I haven't gotten one yet.
I think so. Hey, there it is.
Yeah, I have. But I was gonna design a new course.
Build it from the ground up, huh?
They will come.
Right, change custom rules. God, no, go back. Please, no. God,
The golfers shall come.
Of course, you're gonna work here.
Let's see.
It's good to me. Create a match.
That sucks. We're just gonna keep it.
I don't know how the invite works, but you should have an invite somewhere to join.
Holding the button to join. Connecting players. You're broadcasting as well, just to tell you.
Yes, I know. Okay.
I wanna be white to you.
Oh, we're going white? Wait.
Green to you. Or blue.
We're going green. What color are we going here? These are your tee-offs.
4. Green.
Come on now. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
I have no clue what any of these are, so.
Well, the tees are where you tee off from, like the distance, and I think the flag position is just your pole positions.
Well, I'm number 1 then, always.
Oh, yeah, I was ready. Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
I'm always number 1.
Are you? Always
Yes.
number 1?
Yep. I'm actually PewDiePie. It's all a secret, but I'm actually PewDiePie. Just on my off time. On my off time of making millions per video, I decide to what is it? Spotlight? No.
Ultra ego.
Moonlight as a starting out YouTuber, so I can keep my ego down a little.
Right.
Be like, this is what it's like when I can't have it.
We're gonna really tee off here, guys. Let's go hit them tees.
Wow, they didn't even model like audience.
No.
Nope. Just, this is straight golfing, nothing else.
That's what it pretty much is. I don't know. I haven't really played the career mode to really know if it does all of that. So don't quote me on that exactly.
Right
Please
into
bounce
the
left.
sand.
Please bounce left. Please bounce left. Yes! No, maybe! Yes! Yes! I'm on the fairway! Oh, I drew it up.
Just how you drew it up?
Big shot onto the fairway. Left fly. Oh, there you go. There you go. We'll be here all day. I'll see you in about 10 strokes. No, Y lets you see where it's landing, and then you can use the D-pad. Adjust your target.
Right where I want to be.
Oh yeah, and that dirty grass. Oh yeah.
I like
got a little bit
green.
fringe.
Okay.
And the plie. Relive. Good shot. See how big the bounce is here. Very, very nice.
See, I told you I knew exactly where I wanted to be. I'm actually a pro. This isn't anything different. Don't slip.
Backspin! Backspin!
Bye-bye.
I think that counted on as a in green regulation. Eee! Oh, you made this shot here. Yeah, get a stroke on me, huh?
Perfect hill.
You're going up that little hill there. Now fill it out. There he goes.
Oh.
Almost. Pretty close though. Good first putt, you know.
I'm still closer to you. Menu. And
Yep.
slip.
Too hard.
Choke.
Oh, come on! That's baloney! It's putting for the par. Ooh. A little hard there. Oh, I won't stop.
It's okay, I know I'll still win.
Yeah, it's an 18 hole course, so there's plenty of time to, if you have a bad hole, go ahead and get out of the way. Bravo.
+1. Now, I don't play golf much, but I'm pretty sure the higher number wins.
Higher numbers always win. That's pretty high. Lower number wins. Look at pretty cars.
Hole in one. I'm gonna get a hole in one.
Going in now on this par 4. I gotta thank the strongest arms in the league here.
Just swing.
On the wrong way here. Here we go. We're going downtown.
With a punter?
That's a beauty. It's par 4, so I'm actually, if I have a good chip here, I might be playing for Buddy. Going on them big boy clubs. He's going for it all. Lines up the shot. Swish.
Right where I want it.
Yes.
I'll shoot it off the branch.
Oh my goodness. For the love of God, that's not out of bounds. You're closer than me. Good for you. I enjoy getting up that hill. Man, looking at how I'm judging, trying to mentally help you out here, you might have to go around to the left.
Nope, I'm
Hit the line
shooting
back
straight
there,
up.
come back up.
I'm gonna have a
Fuck.
big English on this next ball.
Good luck. Ready for that incredibly long putt? I am. Doesn't feel right though because like the target was like on the pin. I'm like, okay, I don't know why it's going way. Oh my goodness! I don't know what you can do here. I don't know. Unfortunately, I can only see.
Got it.
This went from being golfing sim to being woodcutter sim. Lumberjack sim 2000. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. With all you got.
Boom. See? Did it.
I thought it did. I thought it almost went up.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a different position now. Good job. Progress. Okay, Mark Henry, we need you to dig through this mountain over here, okay, bud?
Right, where's it gonna land? Yep, I agree. We got this.
But the game said it's gonna land next to the pin. There it goes.
Right there.
Yep. Yeah, that's bad. I'll have to try to go around. I don't know. You're in the sticks. I'm surprised I didn't like flag that down as out of bounds because you're clearly not going to get it up the dang hill. Hey, look, you get a drop. It'll let you drop it, you know, like in a better spot. You get that drop it right here. You're stuck in this hellhole. Have fun.
I don't know how to move the LB to move.
You don't get like two positions. You want it on this side or you want it on the other side?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Right here.
Good drop. Yeah. I'm playing from the water, coach.
No, I can't move.
Yeah, I know, that's really weird. They don't give us side to side. It's like, you want to give me forward and back. Only forward and back. I'm just saying, you're better off like seeing how far back it'll let you go because, you know... There you go.
Right here,
Where
please.
you were.
Where does it say I'll be placing it? Perfect.
Well, if I understand correctly, the numbers up at the top right are your percentages of where the balls actually go. Oh my goodness, that's where you were. Oh, this is fun.
Whee!
You can do it.
Oh, I dropped it again. It's okay, I'll adjust. I got this. I know exactly where I need to be.
I think the shot count
Right
stops
here.
at 14 though, so eventually there is a...
Right there, please. No. How about that? How far back can we go?
It's gonna be like, big rigs, you're gonna be able to just keep going.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to like golf from the other course as far as you can go.
Yep. Right here.
There's a limit, I'm like, boy, this is gonna be broken, you let you just keep going. Like, he's not stopping.
Where am I shooting? Sounds like a plan. Okay.
Hey, look how your footing is. That ball's not going to go where you're aiming it, by the way. It's not humanly possible.
How about you?
You're gonna curve that ball like a dang wiffle ball bat.
Just in case the curve.
Go there.
Boom!
Right into the tree. Goodness.
Hey!
High five. You play next hole. My turn. I get to play now, man. That's a great multiplayer game choice by me here.
I'm having
Bricks are
fun.
working with her. I can't really.
I'm
Oh,
enjoying
it's
myself.
fun.
I did not know
Fun.
how fun golf could be if you include
Oh my goodness!
pinball with golf.
There it goes.
Like, I did not know how fun it
Yeah.
is when you include pinball and golf in the same sport.
Breaking left. And pow. There it goes.
Now, if you get plus 12, there's a sadness in your story.
It's okay. You got 6 strokes to make up. You'll be fine. I
Yeah.
believe. If I have a hole like you, man, I'll be in the same boat. Back up. It can't happen. I mean, like, you're gonna hopefully. So I don't sound like the boy who cried wolf or anything. You're gonna experience that hole where you're gonna swing it, like for some odd reason the ball is gonna just take a really bad wicked curve for some odd reason just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, apparently my guy decided he was gonna play this next hole drunk. We do a flop here? Hey, don't get a flop with the wings. You can punch it. That's gonna end well for me. I'm on the wrong way, I think. Yeah, too far.
Pancho! See, this game needs modifications like Black Ops does, and have a punt-only golf tournament.
This isn't going to go how I think it's going to go.
Yes, it is! Spot on.
Very well.
Now it's my turn.
Let's see.
It
Look
says
at this turn.
there, but I want.
He wants over there. We're going, we don't need roads. I'm playing the next hole, guys. I'll have fun in this hole. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh my goodness, into the sand.
Right where I wanted to be.
Oh yeah.
Because now I'll get the hole in one.
Here we go, guys. We're gonna just go for the. We're heading up for the tee. Going in for the tee. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. Wait for it. Get my pump stroke.
Perfect.
Other side. It's okay. I don't want to play. I want to watch. The third leg, to play with golf. Okay. Half stroke here. Oh my goodness.
6 inches.
It didn't go anywhere. I think I just poked it like, the stroke. Yes. There we go. Making some progress. There we go. Rather late than ever, I always say.
Now it's your turn.
How are we working here? We got it. I can't read that one break. I don't see what direction that line's moving.
North. It's moving
Maybe it's
north.
like barely to the left of the thing.
No, it's
Barely,
north.
Like a smidge.
It's north.
It's breaking right, so.
No,
Right.
north.
Oh. Here we go. Too hard. Not fair. It's not fair. my phone is telling me you're broadcasting, by the way. Like right now, I can even broadcast for like 20 minutes. Ooh, look at that bad man.
And choke.
Mr. Yogi. Don't jinx it. You gotta learn to putt, Happy. It's okay. You got this.
You got this. I put all my money on you.
Really? You went into this like, yep, I'm betting on the other guy.
There's only one true way of winning.
That ball's going into the sand.
Or the sky.
Oh, that's gonna be nice. Beautiful. Hopefully them trees don't play into me where I need to go.
I know exactly where I need to go. Right there.
It's not that. I got very lucky though because that's not where I was aiming. I was aiming more to the right of the bunkers. And because the shot hooked so hard left, actually benefited me. That sounded nice. That sounded like it left at the tee. Yes.
Right into the sand. That's exactly where I needed it to be.
He's on the beach. He's on the beach. I got an 89 to 97% chance this ball's going where you want it to go. That sounded good. Great recovery.
And rolling
Yes,
back
oh
down
no.
exactly where I want it. Right there.
Perfect. I'm pleased with my shot. I can go home now.
The hole should have been exactly there. It would have been a great hole.
Give me that roll. Give me that roll, baby. Still a little bit of a putt, but I mean.
It's okay, I'll knock it out of the way.
It's like, thank you, Captain Positive. He's got a lot of work to do. Like, I put it on the green in 2 shots. I did good.
Where is it?
Vertically playing
putting
for
it?
par. I don't know if I'd pull your driver here. That ball. Oh God, don't. No, you don't want to putt. Oh boy.
But the only thing is I got my lobe, and I'm like, that's not where I want it to be.
You might have to like half stroke it or change the type of shot maybe. Try to get you a better angle or a better shot.
Okay, that's where chip
In a
is.
90
That's where flop is. I guess a pitch?
little hard, but it's a pretty interesting fill out process.
I got this. Right there.
He's got this. Oh boy, that is not good. That's not good. That's that boy. Oof.
What do you mean? That's exactly where I wanted it.
I wasn't anywhere at all. You're crazy. You're playing golf wrong.
You have no clue what you're thinking about with golf. It's all about the finesse.
I do agree. Maybe. It's got a chance. It's got a chance. Very good though. Really good long putt. I mean that's
There we go. Now I've put something in the way of you.
unfortunately if I go towards your ball it just goes through the ball.
See, that's why we need to play golf with friends. Bye bye.
Like I said, I'm playing for par. I'm not playing for birdies because that's crazy.
I got this. It's
I was reading the
only-
line chart. I'm like, okay, just a little to the right. Oh.
Spot on.
I like how after you guys struck, he just stood there for a second to, like, I guess, have it, like, catch up with him into, like, oh, boy, I didn't make it, did I? And, like, he stayed in, like, perfect form, like, yes. There you go. This is how we do it. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Good job.
Whee!
I'm almost about to triple your points.
Ah, you're fine.
No,
Good.
that's
It's your first-
good.
it's your first-
That's me
yeah,
winning.
It is good.
It's higher point
Playing
wins.
poker, right? Higher points win. There's a bunch of sand and a bunch of trees. Pretty straight and narrow though. We could probably drive it.
Nope.
Oh, that's 500 yards. We're not driving it.
Punter. Going with the punter.
And with the putter.
Mm-hmm.
Whipping out the old putt.
Now put it all the way there. 6 inches at a time.
That's going left. That's going left. Maybe not. Yeah.
It's okay. I got
Your
it.
turn.
I know exactly what I need. Oh. No. Okay, I either get that or that. Okay. So we need it right there. We need all the way up and to the left.
Really?
And boom!
Good shot.
Right where I wanted it to be.
Nice.
Now, it suggests the wood 3, but you see where the wood 3 puts me? That's not where I want to go.
No, I can't see. All I can see is your guy standing. I don't have the opportunity. You know, pretty much whenever you're like watching me, all I get to see is where your stance is.
No.
Yeah, I don't get to see where you're aiming. Unfortunately, it's like that's all you. But I'm sure it's putting you short though.
Nope, it's actually putting me right on. So that I took out the driver and I'm going to punch it.
Oh boy, hey. Well played.
See?
Pretty good shipping distance.
And that is how you don't play
My
golf.
turn.
You see where it's going to put him? He's going in the wrong place. Hybrid 5? Come on. See? Now he's going to go
He's
right
gonna
onto
roll,
the
huh?
green. That is so not where you want to be. See?
Oh, so
He
close.
has no clue how to play this game.
Like that? You like that? I like that.
So now, it's going to put me there, but I don't want to be there. I actually want to be here, and I want to be...
Yes. Hey, well, whip out that putter. Yeah, just putt your way there. Right? There you go.
There we go. Oopsie. There you go. Here.
Steady. Oh boy.
See? Exactly where I wanted it to be.
Oh boy, it's not stopping. It's not stopping either. I wanted to try from the other side. That's my good side.
So now that we're on the good side, we look at it and you can see that it has no clue where it wants me to be. Because I have no clue where we want to be. So, instead we're going to use the punter.
We're gonna take the safe approach.
and use the driver.
There you go. Ting!
There you go. Dang it. Come on. There we go. Okay, 6 is too far, so we want the 7. We want it right. Actually, no, we want it on the other side so that we can roll.
Just, take your time. No rush. I want you, showcase your clubs to me. This is my driver. This is my 3-wood. This is my 9-iron. Woohoo, I get to play now. I lied. I forgot. You went past me.
See? And now we can show more clubs.
You should be on your putter. I mean, that's it.
Nope, you mean driver.
There you go. Just a little bit off there, bud. Do I get to play now? Do I get to play now?
Nope. Because, see, it's all about how many hours
Oh,
you
darn.
need to put in.
There, I get to play now. I get to play now.
Nope.
My turn. I'm gonna get my eagle here, and when I just I'll be waiting for you at the next hole, bud. You just take your time. I had an amazing drive with that 5 hybrid though. Yeah, that helped. I had an amazing setup.
See? And that's how you do it. You always get one more than the opponent.
Alright. Oh, that eagle actually put me back at a score even. That's convenient.
So now, we did this hole before. And now, it's the blackened one turn to get in the pit of death.
I'm not going towards that pit.
Yes, you are.
What am I working with here? I can I can
Yep.
drive it.
Drive it.
I'm gonna end up in the river behind it though. I can see why it's giving me all these. What to be the best spot to put her? It's like every time I went down a club, I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. I probably could have gotten it closer, but I didn't. I didn't trust how sporadic the game can sometimes be. I was like, if you're off by like a pinch, you know that you're gonna drive it, huh? You're gonna put it on there?
Sure.
I don't know.
Aim for that one. We're gonna carry it.
Up all curved in the air, maybe. It bounces back, you're in good shape.
Perfect. Exactly where I wanted it to be.
Where am I going? Where am I going?
You should go. You know where we started?
Yeah, that ball is going bad. Oh, maybe not.
It's traveling.
Fucking loony. What's this? Some freaking Looney Tunes going on over here? They like bounce over to the right and it rolled.
Okay, so that's where it's wanting us, but we're gonna have to go there because of the wind.
And Bugs Bunny trying to recruit me to a super team or something here? I mean,
See? Perfect.
climb that hill.
So, again, it wants us to go there, but we're actually gonna go here.
Oh, Billy.
See? Perfect. This is how you play a perfect round of golf.
Oh wait, it's my turn. Let me just put this down now. How are we looking? Get my little chipper out. My little road chipper. I didn't. I get go again. I'm so good at this game. Oh my goodness.
I was hoping it would roll back to you again.
It literally rolled exactly back where I teed from. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's just So I drew it up. Hey, it makes you feel better if you miss. You're gonna end up right where I was. That was about the most perfect putt you could add because, like I said, if there was a miscalculation, that putt's gonna end up down where I was.
And driver.
Too soft. Please stop. He's so confident in me. Setting up for your double. Like, yes, my double. Yeah, I suck. Boy. Watch out for that hill. Oh no, there it goes.
Bye bye.
It's not stopping. Boy.
My guy's practicing the next swing.
Man, I'm swinging my lead line golf clubs here, man. Almost. What's that, the equivalent of a leaner in horseshoes? I lipped it. Oh, man.
I got this. Boom.
I was like, you gonna max power here?
Drive.
I'm taking the hole with me.
If I knock your ball out of the hole, it means you're active again, right? Okay, so we gotta shoot across the river.
Perfect. Let's see where it lands.
And bye-bye.
Oh my goodness, stop rolling. I'm not looking forward to that long putt.
Okay, so it wants me to go here, but in reality I want to be here.
I just try to adjust for like my sporadic, occasional, violent swings.
Perfect.
I don't know where you are.
I'm exactly where I want to be. So it wants me to go here. Again, gotta adjust for the swing. There we go. Where is it? Nope, I guess I can't do that. So we're gonna have to switch to that. And go up. Nope, too far. So let's see. We'll try that. Oop. And we'll try right there. Perfect.
Almost.
That's perfect. What are you talking about, almost? That is exactly where I wanted it to be.
Almost.
Again, what are you talking about almost? These are making Tiger Woods cry. That's how good these shots are.
Oh yeah.
He's my single viewer right now and he's crying. He's like, I'll never be this good.
That wizard, man, he's such a withered golfer. He's gonna call you up asking you for lessons, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look good. The great debate. Who goes next? You're closer than me. There we go.
No preview. You don't get cheat.
Oh yeah, I need that. I need whatever bit of cheating I can get out of the game.
Yep.
Great, bounce. Great, on.
Now it's my turn. We want the driver, but we want... Oh, I can't make the driver shoot even farther out? Okay. I guess we can't make the driver shoot farther out.
As I sound like there's like a short stroke there. Good shot though.
It's exactly where I wanted it to be. See? Beautiful.
Right where the Thurgle said I wanted it.
So now, we want to use the driver again.
We want to go play with the fishes. We want to play a fishing sim next. Boy, that was like a baseball swing. It worked.
Perfect.
Nice on.
I'm actually not on. Yep, go with that driver. It's the only true club. The funny thing is, you could really make this into like a progression kind of game, where you start at like you start at like mini golf with just the puddle.
Oh my goodness.
Nice on.
That's not at all. That's not at all where it said it was going to go, and I even tried to pull a little bit off of it, so it ended up a little shorter. And the game's like, you're going behind it, sucker. Get a little chipper out here.
Perfect.
And from what I've noticed, I'm kind of disappointed that there is no progression system in this game from what I've seen. I mean, I've tried a little bit of this campaign story type thing, and it's not.
Well, the thing is I'm thinking like Black Ops style progression, where you start with the punter, and after you do so much on it, you unlock the whatever the next club is.
Well, you couldn't do that in golf because you wouldn't be able to get down the.
You
Field.
start at a mini golf.
Oh, so close.
You start at mini golf, then you do like short drives or whatever. You could do it.
Golf really doesn't have that type of progression, though. Not that I know of. I mean, it's practically like straight from high school to college, and then you're practically a pro. Like, there's no like tweener or no development cycle, really.
There's always a development cycle. How else do you improve?
Yeah. Because I remember all those times when I was mini golfing as a kid. I remember all those times, you get to see, all these big league golfers, using that putt-putt course, to get their practice in.
You've never seen Tiger Woods putt-putt? He's really good at the windmill.
I'm gonna bank it off the log that's laying in the middle of the course here. Yep. And then we're going to bank it off the waterfall and then down the chute. Yes. Felt perfect, but I feel like that ball's they're good. It felt perfect, but I was like, it's gonna take a weird swing.
So we want it there, but we know that it's actually gonna go here. So we're gonna adjust and go here. Okay? To everyone who's watching, see? We knew it.
There it goes. Right on.
perfectly aligned. So again, it's saying there, but we know it's actually going to go there. So what we want to do is, oh, we can't actually adjust it. Well, we're just going to have to deal with what we get.
And just roll that eyes there. Swing, a bit of swing. We get lucky bounce here.
Exactly where we needed it.
Modest chipping distance, I suppose.
Now,
Where am I going?
he doesn't know the secret on where to hit. He's trying to aim at the flag, but actually you need to aim at the house over the hill.
There's a button you could hit to do a practice swing. I don't know where that button's at, though.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, you just like you practice next to where you're at.
No, that's only in week off.
Because the hybrid's not going to end well. If
Yes,
I use
it
the
is.
The hybrid is not going to end well. That ball is going to hit the freaking greens and go ping ting and then fly off the back.
And that's exactly where you want it.
Really not where I want it, though.
You don't know where you want it. The game does.
I know exactly where I want it. There we go.
Shot preview.
Oh, I got a little preview here. How about going? It's like cheating a little bit, doesn't it? Like, I'm gonna just get a few practice swings in here. So bad, I need to stop that. How do I get out of this?
You don't.
I just wanted to.
You don't.
That's the game.
Now you get to do
Oh,
practice
bad.
swings.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see.
Look at that
50%.
form. Look at that concentration.
5.
Counting the
I just wanted to
blades
get the
of
fill
grass.
because I wanted to. I wanted about 85%, and I'm just like I don't want to hit. 80%. It's like I'm either hitting at 80 or 95. This is not going to end well.
Well, if you average
Back
it,
in the
you'll be
game here.
fine. Just take the average. This is the game.
I broke the game. I'm stuck in. I'm stuck in 95. There we go. Okay, we're good now.
Nope, now
If you
you're
click
in
the right stick,
practice
I think is
swing.
what it is. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
80%. That doesn't add up in my head, though. That's 80%. I covered half the distance.
Yes, because half the distance was in the air.
The game's not that complex. It can't be.
See,
I can see in a realm of possibility where that could be a thing, but I'm like, that would be very dumb game making.
don't judge the game you recommended me downloading.
Hey, right on. I'm back third now, right?
No.
Get there in one last stroke, and it took me to get there. I gotta make the shot. I can't let you beat me in strokes there.
Yes,
I
you
can't let you
can. Take out the driver. There's a house on the hill. Aim for it.
Dang it! Needed even more to the right. But I guarantee if I went more to the right, the ball would have like kicked so far right, it'd been ridiculous. Too hard.
Don't judge my hits. You go too hard.
It's more instinctive. I'm sorry.
See, I like trading positions over and over again.
Oh, that's taking 4 shots, so you take 1. That's some bull.
See,
That's
you get
baloney.
so aggressive playing golf. Like, I don't know what
Baloney.
sports to play with you now because you get aggressive playing golf, you get aggressive playing cards, you get aggressive tea drinking,
Not aggressive. Calm.
you do aggressive meditation.
Yeah, beat me on that hole.
There actually is such a thing as aggressive meditation.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So you see that little white bridge? That's where you want to go.
It's a shortcut.
Don't pay attention to where the flag is. I'm telling you, the flag is in the wrong position. It's actually the hole on the white bridge.
Yeah, it'll let me skip 2 worlds and up in like Ward 4.1, right?
Yep.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Mm.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
There
Down,
is
down,
there.
down, 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 da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. 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 Oh boy, that ball looks like it's going in a bad place. But then, no, I lied. I'm so sorry. That's where you wanted to put it.
Yes.
Silly me, I should be taking notes. I feel like SpongeBob in that one episode where he's like, "Perfect! That's what I wanted! Brilliant!" I don't know where it's going.
It's
My
in
bar
the
says
sky.
perfect, but I know it's not right, man. Game's rigged.
Bye, 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 bye.
Yep.
By the way, it was the camping episode in SpongeBob.
Beautiful one.
Not really. Is it really on though? I mean,
Yes.
close, but you know.
Is it not on the
I'm blanking.
ground?
I figured I'd go to the beach today and enjoy the sun.
Well, you're in the shade, so.
I'm in the sun.
You're in the shade.
I'm in the fun. Sand.
Oh, for a second I thought you were about to bounce it right back into the sand.
There we. Thank you, Bugs Bunny. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Looney Tunes. There's a nasty hill by that pole, just to be aware. I mean, it carried my ball about an extra like 20 yards. Oh my goodness, where are we going? I'm putting it straight in the hole. No rolls, no about not putting it in the hole.
I think there's a clip on YouTube of somebody doing that, and it aimed so hard down in the hole that it actually bounced back out.
Back out.
Stop trying to finish my sentences, gosh.
Sorry, bad habit. I know it's coming before it happens. I'm sorry. It's just instinct. That's BS. Like, really is. It's ridiculous.
You
Being a
just,
singer, like I'm reading the
you
freaking
got
lines, like,
to
go
be-
left.
you got to be one with the ball.
Always one with the ball. That's why it didn't make up sense. Why didn't make sense to me? I'm like, I even overcorrected. I'm like, if anything, it's going to go farther than it should, and I'll miss it on the other end of the hole. But I was still short. par though, but I mean, it's like, that should have been a birdie. Little baby par 3 here coming up. Little baby par 3.
Of course, use your driver.
Sand wedge. Yeah, use a
little driver.
I mean, that's what all pros do, is always use the driver first. So,
I mean, drop it with a 9-iron. No, you can't. I can punch it and just pray to God it takes a really nice bounce.
you could pitch it. You could do normal. You
I
could
don't know.
chip it.
I'd have
you
to
could
sometimes. I'd have to
low
sometimes.
chip it. You have 100% likely that you will hit the ball.
I'm having a bad moment here. Where am I going? Going the wrong way, I am. Sam, I am, Sam.
It's 106
Need,
yards.
75% power. See, that's where the game's kind of not fair either in regards to this, because I'm like, if I'm going at like 80% power, I should be about 15, 20 yards short of the pin.
No.
Yes.
No. You're going to be like
So, golf
50
works.
yards back.
Oh, hey. Feels like there's a ball in front of me there, but it's really not. That must be your ball, maybe, is what I'm guessing. It's gotta be your ball. And then
No,
whenever I
you
put my
actually
pin
are.
there- There's two balls.
You're actually hitting your ball.
I'm really not.
Yes, it is. It's all over there.
100% power. That's gonna end up bad places. Actually, a really good spot.
That's actually a horrible spot. So.
You do better, bud.
land
You do
here.
better, bud. Show me up.
I will.
Show me what you can do.
I will.
Is that you if we're gonna keep playing or not? We're at the hour mark. We'll obviously finish the hole, of course, but I don't know. There we go.
See? Perfect.
Now we drew it up.
Good on.
Ooh, great on.
See? And you think I'm all bad and stuff. Just because I have plus 26, it's nothing.
Yeah,
Half of me.
Can I not? There we go.
So, people keep popping in and out of my stream, and half of me is imagining them popping in and going, "Ooh, what's this game?" Realizing it's golf and going, "Eh."
I've had two drop in for me as well, and I'm just like, okay, cool, don't stick around. I had one next stick around for like a minute. I'm like, oh, let's go, be my friend. You're gonna like what I do. And he left. I'm like, okay, be gone, friend, be gone.
It's hard to believe it's
Oh, dear.
Friday. How many more rounds
It is.
do we have?
6 more holes.
We're just
We're 2/3 of the way there.
We'll complete it.
Okay.
Just
Woohoo, I get to
drive
jump
us
with
all
you.
the way.
Yeah, we'll be here all day then.
Yet you chose the driver.
I have to go. You have to start with a driver. I mean,
No, you don't.
It's tradition. I mean, like literally, like you have to start with the driver. You're not gonna make any ground. Oh, in theory, I mean, based on where your initial shot is, you can put yourself in position for your second shot. In theory, if you put up, like in theory, if you come up like 50 yards short on, oh my goodness, on purpose, you can, you know, affect the club you use pretty much. Oh my goodness, there it goes.
Again, you think these are not where I want it to be.
Oh, I know these aren't where you want them to be. There's normal people that want these over here. They want to stay on the course. Wants to be hitting it from the rocks. Okay, I'm going to go try to finish the hole now. I'm over there in the weeds.
I'm waiting for you to get a hole like I got at the very beginning.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there it goes. It was only a matter of time before it happened where the game just decides it wants to just like kick it left. Oh my goodness, that ball's gonna hit that rock and go straight backwards. Awkward. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Margo.
Exactly where I
What's up?
wanted it.
Looks like we're all golf tonight.
We're streaming as well. Just so you're aware.
Yeah, 3-0 wordy dirts.
Have you already started a match?
Yeah, we're 2/3 of the way through this round.
Okay.
Right where I want it.
Hey, Drew, what up?
I know I texted Ricky earlier today, and he's gonna be playing.
You should be. I don't think I heard any. Oh, my goodness. I didn't hear anything other than in regards to it. I thought you were going to be on today. What's the occasion?
She ended up having to do an open close because the other piercer had something going on with his heart.
Ew.
Yeah, so she gladly took over that and making it kill it.
Yeah, indeed. Extra hours, extra money.
Exactly.
Extra
Especially if you
money,
push
extra
overtime, then
hours.
it's even more money.
Oh, they don't have overtime. Whatever
Gotcha.
she gets paid for half the piercing cost, and she gets tips and service fees.
Nice.
So like, if she was to do a genital piercing, she gets half that cost. and half
Yay!
the other one,
Demonetization!
What happened? I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. Was it something you said? My brain was just like, my brain exploded whenever I missed that putt. So I was like, what did I do? Did you?
Not playing as bad as you were last night, are you?
I'm on par. I've pretty much been parring all the holes.
Ah.
Like I don't know if like Legna looked into my mind there and was like, he saw the grim dark future of demonetization.
Oh no, I was talking about the story Ricky was telling.
I didn't swear. That's the important part.
You didn't!
No.
You ain't Jordan.
Or Jordan. Whoever's on the line. Somebody's on the line. I know whatever it is, demonetization's in my future.
It's going into the tree. Oh no! Oh god! End of the river.
Exactly where I want it. Because now I can choose where I want to put it.
I'm hitting it off the asphalt, boys. Alright, let's go ahead and just try to drop this sucker in here. We go down a cup.
You're doing 18 holes?
Yeah, we're on hole 13 now.
Yeah, I didn't choose that for the 1 hour stream to do 18 holes.
Well, someone decided they were going to be cute and decided they wanted to view the boundaries of the golf course. And how far can we go? Ting.
Who has more subscribers for the gaming channel?
Hey, don't go there. Don't go there.
Y'all must be talking about me.
I heard it sounded like that your club broke when you hit the asphalt there.
Yeah, it looked like the
Like, I think it's
graphical
splintered.
glitch as well.
Like in real life, like your club would have probably exploded with like splinters in your arms.
Clubs aren't made of wood, but okay.
Shards of metal. My apologies. Like, yeah, I was being friendly about it. You said, I want the most tragic way of death. I want metal in my arms. I want to be Wolverine too. Speaking of heroes, you heard who the new Batman got cast to be, right?
Unfortunately.
I don't
Jim
think it'll be bad, though.
Carrey.
I really don't think it'll be bad.
I-
I'm actually.
I'll give him this. He has the chin. but
Jim
not the
Carrey.
face. But
Jim
that
Carrey.
saying, I would have rather had Robert play Batman rather than Nicholas Hoult.
See, I told you it was Jim
Right, I
Carrey.
know, I only know one name about actors ever, Jim Carrey. Yeah, but I mean, honestly,
Tell
Like I
me
was
Jim
telling all my
Carrey
friends
would
on
not be an
Facebook the other day,
interesting
or
Batman.
like earlier, I mean, like I told him, I was like, I'm sure everyone kind of, cringed whenever they heard Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker, and he turned out a pretty dang, good
Yeah,
performance.
he turned
I
out to be
mean,
a really good Joker.
And then you got to factor in, I think he just came off like making Brokeback Mountain of all movies, so it's kind of like, I'm like, that's like a 180 flip, It's one of those. Who saw that coming? So I'm like, I think Pattinson can do it. Just Pattinson.
You want to know how I got these scars? I'll give you a hint. Camping trip.
Exactly.
I'm not
He
gonna
was
get
rough.
any monetization on him. YouTube's gonna be like,
Pumping
we have a
Mensa.
3-strike policy. You hit all 3 in
You
one
hit all
video. we try to give you the benefit of the doubt, but it just couldn't after a while.
I like how the announcer went in one sentence. I really like this shot. Oh my god, it's just so embarrassing as I hit like the tree and I fall down. Like, oh, okay, that's cool.
This is the best shot ever. I changed my mind.
He did the same thing, but yours is in an even worse position. We ended up in the same spot pretty much, which is interesting. I think you're in a bad spot though, because I think you have to go. Well, I don't know if you can like keep the drive low enough. About a 90% chance of the ball getting there.
You'll get it. See? Right around the tree and into the water.
It's a lot better than what my line showed, though. My line showed that ball should have ended up in the river. That's what doesn't make the most sense to me, is like how that can happen, where I'm like, my line can go from bottom right to bottom top left, and I'm like, okay, that ball, in theory, should be going in the river over there to my left, but it's going straight ahead.
Made it
That's
right
it.
through the
Bye-bye.
trees.
Now you're in the bush. It's like you can't, like, even whenever I'm like spectating, I can't like spin the camera, I can't zoom in, I can't zoom out, I'm stuck
yeah.
like staring at a tree.
Oh yeah, it kind
I'm
of.
literally- I'm like staring at a tree, like, man, I love the Nature Channel. The one thing I wonder about, like, the DC now, are they gonna try to reboot it again? Are they moving forward with him as Batman? I mean, it's kind of.
They might try
I
to-
think they're going to continue on from Shazam and Aquaman, but pretend like Batman never happened.
They might try to reboot it though. Now that Marvel is wrapping up their extended, allegedly.
Oh, that'd have been beautiful if I could. They're gonna enter Phase 4 after Infinity War, though. There'll be a Phase 4.
Yeah, they're already going to announce it this summer.
Bye bye.
It was the
I'm just
ball.
curious where they're going to start off with.
The hunt for Gamora.
Well, well, technically they already have Phase 4 already starting. They have the next Spider-Man movies coming
Guardians.
out. Like I said, I haven't seen the Endgame, so I don't know. I don't know what plot lines are still open. I know, of course, Tony Stark dies. Obviously, spoiler alert.
Right, who?
Thanos?
Oh, I've already seen the movie.
I know you've already seen it. I said, of course, I know Tony Stark dies. Obviously. Oh, I don't know. Is he?
And there's my third
You want me to
strike.
just ruin it for you?
I heard the Captain America's shield gets broken. I think Captain America wields. He wields Thor's hammer. Like I said, that's just spoilers that I've kind of noticed, but I'm partially half ignoring. I'm like, I will still enjoy the movie. I'm sure it still was a really good movie regardless.
Nope, it was actually
it
one of
is.
the worst movies
Of course,
ever.
I've heard for like the past like 4 years now, Downey was running out of the Iron Man role anyway, so it was just a matter of time before they ultimately just killed him off just for the sake of it. I don't know
the way
how-
he goes is really good.
It's better.
It was
than-
like self-sacrifice, wasn't it? I remember like
In a
someone
way,
made
yeah.
that very interesting point where it kind of links all the way back to whenever Doctor Strange kind of pointed it out, where it's like, hey, like, no, you keep golfing, I don't want to play.
I'm about to say, like, gosh.
But he does that thing where, like the 10,000 universes where we defeat Thanos. There's only one that it works in, and I guess he kind of gave Tony the thumbs, he gave him like the one finger kind of thing, I guess halfway through it or whatever.
There you go.
Something along those lines. It's like,
I got my ball in the hole.
Well, since you already know about Tony, yes, he does go.
No, he doesn't.
Captain America does wield the hammer, and his shield does get broken. That's all I'm going to spoil for you, unless you want me to spoil more.
And-
I know, what's her name? Gamora comes back as an older version of herself or something along those lines.
And
Thor's fat.
Batman.
I don't know what. I heard it was a time leap or something, and Thor's fat now for some reason. Which I don't know how that would.
And Batman
He's referred to as melted ice cream.
is Thanos' father. You heard it here now. That is a known fact in that movie. I remember they had like 8 scenes explaining how that all
big
works.
ass screen for this map. Did really good there. Really good. Scared of how that hill's going to look though.
I remember this from the movies. You all think I'm lying, but it's true.
There was a time jump. So of course Phase 4 is technically already going to be starting because the next Spider-Man's coming out middle of, good gracious, middle of, ooh, look at that bounce.
I think
That's
I think
rewind to
August.
I don't know what's. Of course, Dark Phoenix is coming out, so of course, whenever Disney sucked up, Fox, the Fox, tree of Marvel, they're gonna probably be integrating the X-Men into the next phase.
No.
Well, Dark Phoenix is supposed to be the last of the prequel X-Men movies.
I like how my ball just kept going further and further from the flag.
And their timelines kind of their timelines should be still linking back up. I guess they went back and they righted the wrongs of the third movie.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So I'm saying,
How the hell did I get 10?
I have Apocalypse and the other one that I bought a while back and stuff. I'm watching them. I'm sitting here like I need to get in Days of Future Past so I can at least get caught up on like how they changed the past to fix the future because
No, they didn't. The future's
they
still
kind of butchered
screwed.
the timeline. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
You don't read comic books. Time travel fixes all.
No, the
Those kind of,
environment
like,
is still
Fucking
ruined.
paradoxes don't apply.
The environment is still ruined. Like, they're all gonna die of global warming.
And you wondered why this 18 hole around is taking so long.
Again, I've never played this game.
This is like maybe my technically my 4th round playing. And this isn't like 4th round within a set amount of time. This is like my 4th total ever round of golf.
Bye-bye, ball. I despise golf except Wii Golf. Wii Golf was the best golf. And bye-bye.
Actually really good. But you know, those little beads that are running across the grass, that's kind of where like the elevation is. That elevation changes, so it's kind of easier to read it and be like, okay, that's what I gotta do.
As somebody who used to read topographic maps, those beads are not a topographic map. I have no clue what they mean.
I got part.
Next time, if you want to do that, draw me a topographic map.
Oh, I still had birdie. That's impressive. High five for me. High five me. I thought I got par. I ended up getting a birdie. That was an eagle putt that I missed. Oh darn. There's a tree in my way.
No, there isn't. I don't see any tree.
Bravo me. Bravo.
Now it's my turn. I got this.
Technically, we only have 3 holes left, so you know it's almost there. Over the river and through the trees, the grandmother's house we go. I'm in that way. I'm such a mad person.
Just because you do the normal way does not mean it's the only way.
Very much true. Got me there. That's an amazingly bad putt I got coming up. Okay, I guess like squatting to hit that ball. Like I'm going to hit Aquadui. Hoya.
Done.
Boom! Enjoy your achievement. Yeah, the sucker just chipped the sucker in off the dang fairway. Off the rough, actually. If you'd managed to pull that off of a sand pit, you'd get double achievement. And I think it's called the fair thing. I saw last night.
Now my comeback.
I know now my guys apparently entered depression. But like, oh my god, the momentum shifted so violently.
he's 10 times as worse, but he got this now.
That was nice. And he got birdie. That's very nice. That's.
You thought I was bad.
That was the equivalent of that like eagle that setup I had for. That's okay. You're good.
That's exactly where I want it.
You're practicing your chip-ins. That's what you're doing. You're gonna do your Tiger Woods impersonation. You're gonna get that arm twister ready. Over the river and through the woods, the mother's earth we go. Bounce right, please. I do not like that putt. Yeah.
And the long putt,
And the amazingly long putt.
56 foot. And no. So close
It
though.
was essentially going to be a 2-putter because I put it so freaking far away. Oh, that's way a little too hard. Ah, they still lipped it. And this booger putt. He likes boogers. I saw the sun hit your club and it went blind there for a second. Oh my god! Oh my. I don't know if you saw that too. Hey, Mr. Miyagi. And we wonder why one hole takes 10 minutes. Okay. There we go.
Hey, I'm
I love
practicing
watching
my
Third Leg No Plays.
punt. I wanted mini golf, and you were like, "Hey, let's do some professional." So I had to get my putting in somewhere. And now the chip. Beautiful. Not many people can do the same thing I do, but I don't blame them. 22, 21 feet. We got this.
I'm starting to get this one. You're going to be. You're known as what is called a griefer in video games. You're becoming a griefer. I get to see the transformation before my very eyes. Oh, you wanted to play. I'm going to just sit there and just like, hit a pass, 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 hit a pass.
I'm trying.
And
See, that should have went right in.
I get to play. This is. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna miss it because it's almost impossible to read the greens in this game.
And back to me.
I've seen the greens move faster, and I'm sitting here like, okay, I'll aim farther right to overcompensate, and then I'll end up like
In.
it's just a nightmare.
Just like I needed.
This game's just like hit or miss on what rules it wants to freaking follow.
Doing the hole with a nice putt.
How many more?
Last
do we
hole,
have?
baby.
Last hole. I'm gonna win
more.
this.
Oh yeah.
I'll get a negative 800 ball on this one hole.
I was gonna say no. I just need to have a complete meltdown and just like lose my mind there and forget I'm playing golf.
Basketball with a really tiny basketball.
They don't think I have the strength to drive this thing over there.
Nope.
Got plenty of power. Oh, that ball's going wide left. There's where it happens.
Boop.
That's some gosh darn BS, man.
But I got
The
the
game is
strength.
so rigged.
I
The
got
game is
the
so
strength.
rigged, man. The game is so rigged.
144 feet. I can do that.
Boy, divide that by 465 yards. You'll find out how many strokes it's gonna take you to get there. That's best case scenario. You gonna join me on the beach? Come get a suntan. See, that's where my ball should have landed, but the game was like, beeline for sandpit.
Again, some people are good, and some people are great. And
I'm still closer than you. You'll never be as good as me. You'll never do it. Okay, are you trying out for a baseball team here or something? Your elevation is just so awkward looking. Like, it's not a natural downward swing, it's like a baseball swing. Hey-ya! Oh boy. Okay, my turn.
You got this.
Boy, that's a scary swing. I'm not even gonna get on the fairway. That's good. That's
I'm,
the fairway.
I'm imagining you just swing it, it hits the tree, and lands right back where you are.
That's not nice. I thought we were friends.
We are, except you're 40 points ahead of me.
The higher I go up on the club, the lower my percentile is of it landing where I wanted to land. I popped the tree. I'm still closer than you. We got like 5 minutes. If we can beat here in the next 5 minutes, that'd be very great.
Do what in the next 5 minutes?
If we can get this wrapped up within the next 5 minutes. Hey, there it goes.
You're not leaving, are you?
No, it'd be nice. It would put us at a square 90-minute mark for doing the stream. Ah,
Just climbing up the hill together, I guess. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
like I said, my guy just has like a meltdown and starts like swinging, his club rapidly here, He'd have a chance.
See, I'm already on the green.
Oh, don't worry. I think I'm actually in a better spot than you are, though, so
Nope.
I might actually would have put it a little closer.
Right into the sand.
I reached it home.
Mhm.
3 minutes. Can we do it?
That hill looks a lot steeper
Just to
than
see.
what I see.
It does. That's why I kicked it so far right. I'm like, let's just aim it right and just get the ball, get the ball close. Yeah, I'd recommend aiming it right because that thing sucker that curves so far left.
Boom.
Oh, fine, go.
Bye bye.
Nice.
So I won.
You did. I still beat you on the last hole. That was great, though. That was actually a good finish. There's nothing more satisfying than watching someone sink a long putt.
And right
I
now
got
I
greedy.
still have
What did I
3
get?
minutes.
Yeah, I still got 3 minutes as well.
Got some achievements.
Enjoy them achievements.
This is my favorite course. 8 stars.
5.5 stars, bud.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna end my stream here. Anyone want to say anything?
Until next time.
Bye bye, everyone. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you Sunday around 6 or 7.